want to know the one thing I wish I knew as a psychotherapist? I've got to tell you about an experience I had yesterday. I'm Rosalind, and I'm your wisdom whisperer, and yesterday, when this happened, I knew nothing. The subject I wish I had known more about and is never discussed, at least in the 30 plus years that I went to trainings, is the subject of attachment. I'm not sure how people actually define attachment, but here's my understanding. Attachment is much more intense than expectation. It's more intense than knowing. It's of a kind of a desperation, but it might be unconscious. I would never have thought that I was attached to the food in my freezer. So as I said, we were gone for a while and allowed some people to use our house. Some work was being done in the kitchen, so we said, could you move the food into the garage refrigerator and freezer? The instructions were passed on, I believe, as clean out the refrigerator, and they threw out everything in the freezer and the refrigerator of both refrigerators. When we returned, we were picturing, well, what should we eat? What's in the freezer? What shall we have for breakfast? We usually leave some muffins. I have some amazing chocolate crunch that I make, and it was in a big box ready to be gifted to a number of people. All gone. Everything. There's not even ketchup. There's no mayonnaise. And there's nothing for breakfast, nothing for dinner. So what, you say? It's just food. If you can afford to be away, you can afford to buy more food. Who cares? You might say, people lose houses, people lose loved ones. But what I want to say, at the moment of the shock of the loss, there's no perspective. And that's what I learned. The feeling was exactly the same as the overwhelming shock when my 39-year-old daughter was dead. Like, it can't be. It can't be that everything is gone. And yet it is. Perspective comes after the feeling. And we are so attached to things that we don't even know until we lose them. Let's become, if you would like to join me, let's become more aware of what we have a grip on. The Buddhists say all attachments cause suffering. And I'm here to say they knew more. The Buddhists know more than I knew yesterday. It didn't last that long, but the shock was the learning that in that moment when the things you assume are there, the things I assumed were there, are not there, and there was no coffee to be made for the morning. All my espresso capsules were thrown out. Misunderstanding. Nobody meant harm. It's all gone. And I'm okay. And you're okay. And we're okay despite our circumstances. So it's really, really good to separate a little bit of distance from I want and I have to have to I would like or I prefer, but not saying I prefer meaning I have to have it, if you know what I mean. So write in the comments attachment if you're willing to look at what you're attached to. I sure learned a lot. Bye for now.